It just leaves me with the question of
Why?
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, I think most of you out there will probably agree, if you're as big of a fan of the 90s as I am, that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the original sitcom series starring Will Smith, is probably one of the best sitcoms of all time. It's definitely one of the best sitcoms of the 90s. It's something that has stood the test of time. I've rewatched through the entire series on many different occasions, and it's definitely one of those sitcoms where you can put it on at any time, really, in your life. I can watch through any episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and not even think about the fact that it's a 90s show. To me, it's not dated at all. The themes and the humor still hold up today. It's just as funny now as it was when I was younger. And honestly, I could even make the argument it's funnier now than it was when I was a little kid watching it. But the point is, for whatever reason, Hollywood has decided to reboot The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I know that's become a very dirty word in recent years, but there was this fan film that came out in 2019, garnered a lot of attention. It was basically a trailer for a fake Fresh Prince reboot, but as a drama. People loved it. People went nuts for it at the time, including Will Smith himself posted on social media at the time praising the guy who made it. Even I could give credit where it's due. It was an interesting idea to do a fan trailer for this, and that's what it was. It was a fan trailer. There were a lot of people who thought it was real, which usually is what happens with fan trailers. You know, people usually get fooled into thinking that they're real. I think that's part of the reason people do fan-made trailers, is because they want people to be tricked into thinking it's real. That's just my personal opinion on it. The bottom line, though, is that this wasn't real at the time that this fan-made trailer came out, but it got people talking. A lot of people started saying, well, I wonder if what would happen if they really did do a dramatic reboot, a dramatic revival of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Could this plotline of Will Smith, being forced to move from West Philadelphia all the way to Bel-Air, could this be an interesting story that you could tell in a dramatic way? And the general consensus seemed to be that yes, you probably could do this in a context of a drama, but that doesn't mean that it should happen. But as hard as it is to believe, they're actually doing a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air dramatic reboot that's going to be on Peacock coming sometime in 2022. And if you don't know, Peacock is NBC Universal's streaming service, because we don't have enough of those already. The reason I'm doing this video is because they just came out with the first teaser trailer for this new series. I just finished watching it, and it's pretty much as bizarre and cringy as you could have possibly expected. Now, like I said before, I know there were people who were like, oh, I wonder if this could be an interesting idea, doing a dramatic version of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I'll agree that as a fan trailer, it was an interesting idea to do a fan trailer, a fake fan trailer for a fictional series that does not exist. Not to do an actual series in real life that is a drama version of a sitcom from the 90s.
I'm an adult. I can handle this.
I mean, obviously this is just a teaser trailer. It's not a full-fledged trailer, but it looks really weird and bizarre and really cringy. Like, the teaser trailer is like this weird CGI version of the actor who's going to be playing Will in this series, underwater, like drowning in a pool, and he's like reaching for this crown, and then he floats down onto this throne. It's really weird, and has this narration of Will Smith, probably the extent of his involvement with this series. That's his producer role, is to provide a 10-second narration reciting the lyrics from the original Fresh Prince theme song, but in a dramatic way. He recites them as if it's some kind of dramatic poem. Why? Why do we need this? Who asked for this? Number one, who in their right mind asked for this? And number two, why would you ask for this?
I'm okay.
It was fine as a fake fan trailer. That didn't mean that we had to all of a sudden start this movement to get this made into a real series. It's stupid to do a drama version of a sitcom. It's like something you'd see on Saturday Night Live. How are you going to be able to watch this series and not just think about how weird it is that instead of comedic moments, they're going to be replicating moments from the original series that were hilarious, but they're going to be replicating them in a dramatic, over-the-top way. I get that the concept itself works as a drama. You know, a kid who lives in West Philadelphia being forced to uproot himself and move into a rich neighborhood and having to basically start over from scratch. That's an interesting idea. It's very interesting. But you're doing it basically as a carbon copy of the original series. This is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All the same characters, the same situations, except instead of humor, you're going to flip everything and make it this bizarro world thing. You know, instead of Carlton being a moron, I guess he's going to be, you know, a genius, or he's going to be depressed or something. Take the name value out of it. If this wasn't, you know, Bel-Air, if this had nothing to do with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but everything else was the same, the concept was the same, the types of characters were the same, with different names obviously, but if you took everything related to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air out of this, would it still be as intriguing? Would people still be excited about it? Would it still have just as much chance of being successful? And if the answer to that question is no, then in my view, that means this was a bad idea. Then in my view, that means that this is being done specifically to capitalize on the name value and the popularity and the nostalgia of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Taking the name value and basically just slapping it on. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm insane. Maybe this series will premiere and it will be mind-blowing and everyone will absolutely love it. To me, as of right now, this looks really stupid. But I want to know what other people think. I'm really curious as to, now that you've seen this trailer and now that we know that this is actually happening, what do you think? Are you interested in this? Do you feel like this should have stayed as a fake fan trailer that people could have, you know, been like, ooh, that's an interesting thing. I'm glad someone did that. That's cool to see that. What this could be like as a drama. Or are you thinking like, yeah, I'm all for a bizarro Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because that's essentially what this is to me. It just leaves me with the question of, why? So let me know your thoughts. I want to know what people think about this. If you're a huge fan of the original Fresh Prince, does this feel like sacrilegious to you, or are you completely open to it? I'm down to hear any perspective on this. But that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much if you made it through this video. Thank you so much for watching my thoughts on this, and I'll see you next time for more 90s nostalgia trips.